In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station, WLMR DB Radio.
Here we go, you all. Again, another week of Speak Out Your Issues with Miss Show You Right, Nadine.
And Sabrina.
And we have a fabulous guest with us tonight, Mr. Morris Roberts. And of course, he agreed to come on and just talk about life situations. And our topic tonight is how family and partners respond to family illness. And with that, guess what? Seemed like it would be an interesting conversation. It's good around this time of year. Mr. Morris Roberts, thank you again for wanting to come on and be on our Speak Out Your Issues show. And if you can, just tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what you do, and we'll appreciate that.
Okay, thanks, Nadine, and thanks, Sabrina. Speak Out Your Issues show you right, Nadine. Thank y'all for having me on. My name is Morris Roberts. I'm retired military guy. I would say a lifer. I've done several careers in my life. Railroad conductor, mailman, salesman, booking agent, manager, a lot of different hats. And the most important thing for me in dealing with people, whether it's my business, personal, or family, is to have a clear line of communication with honesty and openness, with good vibes, eye-to-eye contact, and seriousness about whatever issue we're dealing with.
Thank you so much. Hey, that's part of, like you're saying, you've been in the military, all of that above, plus is what I know you all stand for, and those are the good qualities, and I'm quite sure they are qualities of your own values. What I like to ask, because again, the topic is how family and partners respond to family illnesses. And the first question is, tell us what's on your mind. And of course, this is a topic that, you thought about to have. So if there's any concerns or just, like you say, speaking out your issues about this topic.
The real issue is when you're a caretaker for a family member, son or daughter, whatever, that's a great responsibility, which means you're an advocate for them to get the proper medical attention, what area it is. And I had the opportunity of taking care of my lovely mother before she passed. And although I was physically here with her in Atlanta, you never think of losing your mother. I never thought of it. And when she passed, it was just devastating. And everybody's mad, and I think the madness and the anger come from you going to be missing that loved one, not going to be here no more. And then in the physical flesh, and you then take it out on each other, I think. I've observed that, not just with my own mother situation, but other families and friends of people that have passed. And I've had this conversation. We all had this conversation. And currently, I'm dealing with a situation very personally close. Friend of mine had some challenges. And we came in to do what we had to do to have her get, back up according to God, doctors, and whatever, due diligence. I'm not perfect, but I'm well disciplined, well trained. And something with this situation doesn't fit my character. And I know everybody's not like me. So, and I'm having an issue with the family, and it seems like everybody thinks she's gonna pass, and they want to position themselves to receive the finance, or I really don't know. I get all kinds of stuff. And my major thing is they had the same kind of cancer Jovita Moore had, and not to say that I have anything to do with this, but it's only God's hand. That she's still alive. Very happy in March of 2019, and they got 2021, so she's still alive.
Oh, oh, that's a blessing. I was just saying that's a blessing.
But when the oncologist told us what to do, we had a family meeting, and me and one of the family members met with the oncologist, and he told us what to do. And one of the things he prescribed said, lots of company, make her laugh, music, CBD oil, marijuana, whatever. Keep her relaxed. Keep positive. Don't dwell on the condition. Dwell on her mood and being happy and getting the proper nutrition that she needs from, for whatever. So that's my major focus. And in the middle of that, I bet you not, and I'm gonna mention it. I had a lot of the hats that I wore, that I still wear.
Right.
So in the midst of doing all that, you still have to show due diligence to the mission of taking care of this person. So, and I know I've got my character been assassinated in a couple of situations with that. I've been misjudged. I feel the people didn't really know me, but it's not going to stop me from doing what I know is right to do and what my mother would have me do.
Well, I appreciate you definitely sharing what you shared and coming out, just speaking of concerns. And hey, you're probably helping millions of others right now because a lot of times, we go through things and, just trying to, like you say, work through in the midst of all the other things you're having to do. And the ultimate thing to me of all of that is you're always trying to do your best, do what's right, especially in a situation like that.
Yeah, because that's a moral, excuse me for cutting you off, but that's
it's okay.
Moral thing to do. See, I've been taught to live by principles and guidelines,
Right.
And that's how I conduct myself. There's nothing phony about me.
Right.
That's why I love me some me.
Yeah, okay, you can say that again. I like that phrase. Love me some me, huh? That's good. That's good. If everybody else it'll help keep their, energy level up and focusing in on them, not necessarily being egotistical. I didn't hear any of that in you saying that. It's more of being appreciative of yourself, and like they always say, knowing thyself. Knowing thyself is important. Being appreciative
of yourself will allow you the strength and the courage to appreciate others.
Right.
You got a person look like, all of us gonna die. None of us getting out this alive. But you got a person a lot of family members, oh, she look like she's dying. Oh, he look like he's dying. Oh, she gonna die. So it brings on a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. And in the middle of all that, I have to be honest, a loving a friend, prepare the food and all that stuff. And then I have to work as a security officer with DGS Delta Global Security Service, which I'll be retired from that in March of next year. And then I got to run I have an agency, booking agency in a management group. So, and like one of my vocal coaches said, well, man, I don't care what you got to do, you still got to practice. So in the midst of all that, I have to do what I have to do and still stay on point.
And what is, okay, I'm sorry, you was about to say something else?
No, that was just stay on point, stay on task for what you're doing, but sometimes we have outside interference from people, family members, and it throws everything off and puts the negative in there and talk about thinking about the money and think about this,
Right.
That's right, or ritual or something. I don't want to die around nobody. I don't know what people be thinking. I just learned to respect whatever people religious doctrine or belief is. I respect that, and I have a respect for life and respect for people, and I like for people to treat me that same way. Well, when they don't, it's kind of disappointing because they lost a friend. I'm a genuine friend. Right.
And hey, you couldn't have put it any better. I was just going to ask, and I definitely turn the mic over to Miss Sabrina, And this is, what are some of the things that this is off of the questions we had listed. What are some of the things that you do to help keep yourself in a positive, healthy manner, healthy way when you've been faced with adversity, I would say, and people not understanding? What are some of the things that you do to help keep yourself motivated and going?
Me?
Yes.
Oh,
Mr. Morris Roberts.
You know what? How can I put this? I feel I'm in sync with the universe and with the spirit of the Lord. And I always feel the presence of that I'm not alone, which is a good feeling. And I also feel like when I've been astonished with a problem, I used to run. I've been having to deal with this all my life because I've been, working on the progress of success, different goals all my life. And sometimes you make some goals, sometimes you don't. So I like to play golf, which I've have not able to do recently because I haven't taken the time to do it. I used to jog to release some of the stress, walking and running. But what I do when I'm at work, I've increased my work with the security firm I work with because air traveling picked up. So I work like 3 days a week with Delta. So what I do is I walk. When I've got my client situated and I can see them in my distance, I will walk. Keep my body moving.
Well, that's good. Those are good practices.
And also keep your mind clear. Don't just act on emotion or gut feeling. Sometimes people say I'm too slow, but I'm sure. I like to get all the facts and get all the details, then look at it and then make a decision. But
right.
I like to dance when you got to get in the groove with whatever situation I'm in to make it peaceful and happy and fun.
And that's,
I don't like nothing that's not fun and peaceful, Because everybody's important. Everybody, and nobody's not fun.
Right. And that I like what you stated because it helped, it seems like a lot of motivational things that you're doing. Shucks, I was thinking about some of that, like you saying, the walking and, just being able to dance, and they help to keep you in a good spirit and knowing you're on the right track.
And believe it or not, I do promotion. I'm an artist. I didn't want to talk too much about that, but I'm an artist and I do promotion. So I have these signs on my car and I play the music. So if I pull up at a gas station, pull up somewhere, I'm going to be dancing and enjoying the music, and then all of a sudden people are joining with me. But in between times where you're doing what you do, have to do what you do, find a moment where you can find that peace and that joy and that smile from within, not just from within, that you're feeling good about whatever's going on in your life, whatever you're dealing with.
Love it. Okay. Ms. Sabrina? Oh, yes, I appreciate you because, again, our listeners are taking this in, and shucks, they may be able to pick up on some of these things, themselves, if it's not just a reminder. It's a reminder,
right.
For me.
In the spirits and the alcohol and the situation where you abuse your body, abuse yourself. Try to stay focused on peace because, everybody have a what they call it, a button that people pushes. So when somebody pushes your button, just, they lost.
Right.
They lost.
Excellent. Let's see what Miss Sabrina have to ask, or she have some comments.
Yeah, this touches really close to home for me because we've gone through this with our family member. We lost a matriarch of our family a couple of years ago, and my niece was taking care of her. She was her caregiver for over 2 years. And you're right, she was the voice of her because Ron had a stroke and she couldn't talk. So she was her advocate. She was her voice. She was her nurse. She was a caregiver. And she took care of her unselfishly.
That's sacred.
And being a mother, being a wife, take my aunt in, and they turned their children's room into my aunt's room, and their children stayed in the room with her, and she took care of her. And you're absolutely correct. We found the people with the most to say were the ones that had never come to visit. The people with the most to say, she couldn't even get them to come and sit with her while she went to go and take care of her personal business. Right? And so every time you turn around, there was something to say. Something they didn't
negative or derogatory about her.
Exactly. But they would not come to even sit. This young lady literally stayed almost 24/7 in her home without going anywhere, taking care of my aunt. And now she's doing the same with her father. Her father, maybe 6 months, a year, not even a year after my aunt passed, her dad had a major stroke. So now she's back again taking care of her father in the same situation. And again, nobody wants to come and do anything, but everybody has something to say. Right? So we learned in that process, we were her champions. So those that were for her, we spoke up, we helped. Of course, she was with my aunt. We're in another state. So we did what we could do for her financially. We visited when we could. But the most that we did, and I thought was more helpful to her, was we were her champions. We fought for her. When she was tired, I sent her, for her to get a massage or whatever the case, whatever. And let somebody say something. My response was, I got this. Don't answer the phone. I'll handle it from here. You don't have to worry about that. Or when she had an issue, we took care of our family. My sister and I, we took care of that so she wouldn't have that added burden. So you're right. When you make a situation where you make that person as comfortable as possible, because let me tell you something, they sent my aunt home to die because there was nothing else that they could do for her. After coming to live with my niece, she lived for an additional 2 years.
Hello.
See?
So it was about the care, and it was about the care that the caregiver was giving. But at the same time, we had to make sure that the caregiver didn't burn out. We had to be that shoulder that the caregiver could lean on. So you're right. Staying positive. Negative Nelly, don't even answer the phone. I'm telling you, Negative Nelly, she has to go. Okay? And then you got Patronizing Peter. Every time you turn around, he's complaining about something. He got his 2 cents. Guess what? Don't even answer the door when he comes. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have to answer the door because he's not coming. He's going to yell and make comments to everybody in the community for what you're not doing. So for those people, it doesn't matter. You did what you had to do. You did it to the best of your ability. You did it with dignity and honor, and your mother loves you for it. And guess what? You get to handle her affairs the way she wanted. Negative Nelly and Patronizing Peter, they can complain from the outside, and it don't matter. Their words can't touch you. Because people are gonna talk about you whether it's good or bad. But it's how you feel about yourself and how you take it. You surround yourself with your positive people and keep it moving, like you said.
Love it.
And that's one of the things that I didn't get for 2 years. I didn't get. So in the middle of, I didn't get the support from them. I could say, come by and sit with her or bring her something to eat while I go or while I go do whatever, go to the ride, whatever, give her a break, And then I didn't get it. I missed the family reunion on my side of the family. But I'm not saying it it's to let people know everybody's not going to be on your your side now. So don't get mad.
Right.
That you cared for.
Exactly.
Right.
Don't get upset with people because everybody are not caregivers. No. Everybody can't sit and be around a person that they have to change their diaper or wash them or whatever. Everybody can't do that, but you can add support, in other ways.
Right.
But don't allow those kind of people.
Huh?
But I too feel as well.
Oh, see, well.
Everything they have to do.
Right.
Now, look like they want to position themselves and look at me like I'm in it for the money. Like I was in it for the money. See, money's only a tool to make more money. Money can't buy your money can't buy your love. Money can't buy you peace. So it's not about the money with me.
Right. Well, we'd like to stop right here, if you don't mind, after your statement that you're about to make, so we can go to a station break. You was about to state something, Mr. Roberts.
Yeah, I was about to say it's not about the money. And sometimes in our families, and I've noticed there's been violence, there's been killings, there have been fights over the assets or the estate of the person that's deceased from their own family members.
Right.
And friends. There's courts and everything. So, when you get like that, I don't want to be a part. That's what I'm about. I'm a caregiver, I'm a lover, I'm a fighter.
And I appreciate that. We will be going to a station break. And for those that just joining us, you are on Speak Out Your Issues with Ms. Show You Right, Nadine and Sabrina on WLMR DB Radio. We will take a station break and be right back.
Christmas just ain't Christmas without the money. Not gonna be lonely, baby. New Year just ain't New Year without the money. Underneath the mistletoe, I saw her face all aglow. Last year this time, now I'm standing home alone, and this house is not a home without that girl of mine. Christmas just ain't Christmas without the money. I need you, baby. New Year just ain't New Year without the money. Underneath the mistletoe. 12 o'clock and all is well, and I was doing oh so well last year this time. Going shopping for presents together, making vows to leave each other never, just a waste of time. Christmas just ain't Christmas without the money. I love you, baby. New Year just ain't New Year without the money. Gonna be right there underneath the mistletoe. Christmas just ain't Christmas without the money. All around the Christmas tree. New Year just ain't New Year. Lots of presents for the whole family. Christmas just ain't Christmas without the money. I got you, baby. New Year just ain't New Year. Got you right here in the pit of my heart, baby. I wanna be happy this Christmas, baby. Gonna be so happy with you, baby.
Again, thank you for staying tuned in each and every week to Speak Out Your Issues with Ms. Show You Right, Nadine and Sabrina. We were getting into some deep conversations in reference to our topic tonight, how family and partners respond to family illness. And just giving you our guest, Mr. Morris Roberts. We're giving you great information of things to do to help yourself when you are not necessarily at odds, but don't see things, or people don't give you support. Miss Sabrina gave some great examples of things that go on. And guess what? We know things happen in our families. So, Miss Sabrina, was there anything else you wanted to ask Mr. Roberts before we go to the next question? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I was just I was actually giving you an amen, telling you I empathize with you, and I empathize with you because we have been through it.
That's my fault.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so I was saying, you're absolutely right, because it's those people that don't do anything that have the most negative to say. Instead of saying, you know what, Mars, you're doing a good job. Thank you for taking care of my mom. Thank you for taking care of your mom. Thank you for taking care of my sister. Thank you for taking care of my niece or my aunt or my great aunt.
Right.
Just thank you.
And that was said, Sabrina, in the beginning of the stage and all that, when they had other stuff to do, and other stuff they're supposed to do. But then when it looked like, oh man, this guy might be in there and want to get some money. Seemed like they just want to position themselves and be rude to me, to say negative things to me in terms of they want to position themselves. All they got to do is say it, because you know what? When you negotiate or you talk about, like, speak out the issues, that program you guys got going on, speak out what you feel and what is truth and what you think around to the people that are involved. You can dialogue and get an understanding and talk.
Right.
I thought that's what you give the government.
But you know what? So that brings in another question, because now you think about, what were you really about? Were you about her, or were you like the vultures sitting around waiting? So you will be. You gotta ask yourself that question, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have to go to that. Ask myself that question. I knew what I was about. You see what I'm saying? But
I'm talking about those that came around afterwards and want to say that it's you, and then you like, was that your intent? Okay, all along. So how true were you, or how sincere were you when you were telling me all of this? Right? I had a friend of mine who called me, and she was literally in tears, and she said her mom had just passed. They hadn't even had the funeral yet, and her aunt came to her mom's house while she was getting her mom's clothes to wear to take to the funeral home. Her aunt comes in and just gets a box and starts taking stuff. And she's like, what are you doing? This is my sister's stuff. And I told her, she told me, I can have this. She's like, she says, I was so mortified. I didn't even know what to do. Because my mom was sitting in the ground, and she just started coming in, taking her coat, her hats and clothes and turns. And she was like, Sabrina, I didn't know what to do. She called me, and she was bawling. I mean, screaming. She was like, my mom's not even in the ground. So, they don't think about that, how you're feeling in that process.
They don't, and it's materialistically, it's not.
It hurts.
It hurts to think that all that you want was some money. I remember my mother passed, right? This is a good example. And I know my sister loved me dearly, and she didn't mean no harm, but it was just grief. When I had sisters in Miami, 2 sisters and 2 brothers in Jersey. 3 sisters and 2 brothers in Jersey. And I was the only one in Atlanta. So I made all the arrangements with Gus started in the funeral and got everybody taken care of. And one sister said, what you do that for, so you get a kickback on the funeral?
Oh, wow.
And that hurt me so bad.
That does hurt.
That hurt me so bad. And
I can imagine.
But this how quick I was on the feet. I had taken out $100,000 life insurance policy on my mother with this state representative or something. And it was actually, I thought it was a regular life policy, but it was accidental death, so we ended up having to pay. So what I did was I made arrangement with Gus Starr here for them to children. And when she said that, I came back with that. Hey, I'm sorry, but we didn't have the insurance to cover this, so we all got to pay $8 dollars. So that's quieting them down. That's quieting them down. They got me too.
Let me ask you this then. To our listening audience who may be going through this right now, or not at this stage yet, but the stage of taking care of their loved one, right? What advice could you share with them from your own personal experience, i.e., taking care of a loved one that is still alive and taking care of you after they transition, after they go home?
Well, that's how I got married the second time. Oh, Lord. My great advice is to be, when you're taking care of someone and they make that transition, it's going to be hard. So, notice I say sometimes, I'm not going to do that because if it's a principle or a guideline or something that my mother taught me that I didn't do, then I wouldn't do it. So, I don't look at people as being gone and ever see them again. I put them in the eternal cycle of life. And in my imaginary cabinet, at some point, I come out and I'd be astonished with a problem. And if I just take a little time to sit down and say, well, Mama, what would you do about this? Just be quiet. And then it'll come to you. Mama will come to you and tell you what to do about it. Or her spirit or something will come to you and tell you what to do about it. Or you have a common sense to tell you what to do about it. That's what you've been taught. So you're going to miss them. When my mom died, I was lonely. And lonesome. I had been married once. I messed up on my first marriage. And at my mother's funeral, there was 7 women there, about 7 women. And I was a little place. But my family, I thought that I had all these girlfriends at my mom's funeral. Well, 2 of them true, but the rest of them were just, friends. And so I got the reputation from my family of being a player or a playboy. But see, that was just to make me feel good about myself and taking care of my mother. And the ladies that I was involved with at the time, they knew that was my mission to take care of my mother, get it done to take care of my mother. When my mother left, boys, we always like to impress our mother. So when Mom was sat in her chair, she loved the Braves. She would sit in her chair to watch me run, watch me work out. I remember crying, you ain't running that fast, Mama. Yes, ma'am, Mama. Look at the clock, look at the clock. So when she died, I ran my regular trail. I did it twice. And tears was all running down my eyes, running all down my face. And when I got to the last part of it, a warm spirit just came around me and like just off into the sky. And I was free. And I put my mother into the universal cycle of life where I could always talk with her. See, that's what you got to do. See, if we look at death as being a negative thing, it's something that it's a transition that we all must make. So when you live in people, when you come across people in your life, that's part of you. So you will always reflect the good side of it. There's some bad side, but it took me a minute. So after my mom died and married everything else, I was looking for my wife because I wanted somebody. I was real lonely and lonesome, And,
Okay.
For that motherly love. See, I'll tell you about that. There's a song coming up, but
Okay.
Yeah, we
Well,
for a lot of us, when we deal with that, dealing with a loss, a lot of us get closer to Elohim. We get closer to the Father because that comfort, that hole that's left from your loved one, only He can feel it. Maybe He can't feel that hole.
Never can feel it.
Maybe can't feel it. It doesn't matter how many people you try to put together. It may take a lot. It may take a little to fill that hole. Only the Father can fully heal that hurt and that heart. So I thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Because it's a struggle. It's not easy. It wasn't easy for me. It wasn't easy at all.
Well,
and I had
it's
some good days, I had some bad days too.
Right.
At 71. Thank the Lord.
I'm sorry. What was the last statement?
I'm here at 71, and I thank the Lord.
Okay, because it kind of ran into something else I couldn't hardly understand. That's a blessing, honey, to be like they say, in the day and in the living. I would like to go back. Appreciate all of that because, again, for those that's just tuning in, you all on Speak Out Your Issues with Miss Show You Right, Nadine and Sabrina. And our guest, Mr. Morris Roberts. And again, our topic is how family and partners respond to family illness. Definitely you all dived into when a person transitioned. I would like to just ask, for clear up, when you mention, those persons that you having to deal with when you were with your partner, person that you've been with for some time, coming around, did they outright say that you, around for the money, or was it an implied, understanding based on what they stated?
No, it never, you know what?
Did a person just point blank say?
Never did.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We never did think of it like that. That was just one isolated incident where the sister said something to me. They all knew, everybody that spent time around me, they knew me,
No, I'm just asking. Yeah. No, I'm not talking about your mom. I'm back with the reason why, we're on the show, and that is how family and partners respond to family illness. And I know when you was mentioning about a relationship that you were in, that was it implied that, you just there for the money, or was it per se stated? Okay, it was implied
and it was said to me.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clear up, because we are
it was said to me, and that kind of stuff really cut through my skin, hurt me, because this was a woman that I had given an engagement ring to. We dated and we traveled and we danced and we parted.
Okay.
So why would I want to?
Well, I just wanted to make that clear here on Speak Out Your Issues, because a lot of times that if it was implied as well as stated, okay. So let me go to the next question. I appreciate, like I say, this has been a great conversation for our listeners, because it gives us all something to think about on how situations, whether they have transitioned or if it's a situation of a relationship that one has been in, and that one of the persons have become sick, and how a person would start going through family situations of how they looking at things. So I just wanted to kind of, get that clarification going on. I'm sorry.
The biggest thing, we weren't married, so I have no legal thing in that. No, but we do have a domestic partner agreement.
Okay. Okay.
So that's like Georgia's no longer common law state for man and wife, but in certain situations, they have domestic partner agreement. Like it basically used like same-sex marriages and people like that. They have a domestic partner agreement and go into depth about the money, about this and about that. But you become partners. You ain't got to get your man and wife. You just have to do the matrimony part.
Right. And I just wanted to ask, and this is in reference to, like you're saying, a partner, a relationship that you've been in. Of course, the person's still living. What are some of the best practices for both parties to do, like the family side as well as the you've been in the situation that you would do? I know you spoke on some best practices when a person transitioned. It may be the same best practices, but that was one of the questions I wanted to ask.
While the person is still here, one of the things I focus on was I get the joy when they see me. They get a joy and a smile when they see me. They said, she said, thank God for you. You saved my life. Thank God for you. You know.
Okay. And this is in reference to.
I get a reward. To me, not like an ego reward, but a reward like, okay, Marsh, you did the right thing. Okay, Marsh, you did the right thing.
Right, but I'm talking in reference to the family part, family and partners responding to the other person in their illness. Are you all getting along? Family and, for instance, just an example of yourself. You and the family, are you getting along? No, I'm just, yeah.
Hire me a lawyer, and I'm going to let my lawyer talk to him because I want to know about.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask. I was just wanting to ask some of the best practices that can be done when it's like that. That's the only thing I was, wanting from you.
I saw it coming. They came full circle, and I tried to cut it off by more dialogue, more texting, more calling. Being more transparent.
Okay.
And looked like the more I did that, and when they come back, they'll come back with something. I saw you at the bank getting money out of account, Lord.
Okay, all right. But your best practice, what you did.
You try to, how they put honey or sugar on the pie. Put sugar on the salt. Try to make it sweet and charming and comfortable that you can get through to the person. Some people won't let you get through to them. They got their mind made up about you when they don't even know you.
Okay. And
about the situation.
Right. Do understand. So I can see that, like you're saying, no matter what, you're going to do your best and do what you're supposed to do. And that could be, best practice for both parties. That was the question I had asked. Let me ask you, I know you mentioned tips. What are some good tips for people who to use in a situation like this? You mentioned tips when a person transition. I know you had been talking in reference to, like you said, a relationship with the partner and just going through all of this. Ultimately, what would you like to leave, which I know Sabrina had asked that in reference to when a person transition. But ultimately, what would you leave with our audience to what to do? Some tips.
Sabrina and Nathan, I'll leave. Show you right, speak out your issues on Morris Roberts. But what I like to leave with you, don't give up on the person or the situation that God assigned you. Sometimes you walk in people's lives. See, I didn't know when we was dating that this day was gonna come. So if you're married or dating or have a family member, and the day come where they sick and they need you, you just drop what you're doing and go do it. Because kudos to DGS, Shell is passing them. They gave me like Family Leave Act to take care of this woman because I wanted to do it from my heart because she has been nice and sweet to me and we've been good to each other.
Right.
So, it was a good match, So just do that. I think if you do that, just don't give up. And then even though it's getting hard and sometimes you see the sadness in their eye, they might cry. But you grab them and you hug them and you say, it's going to be all right. And don't you cry with them.
Okay.
You go to your corner, to your closet alone, and you cry and you pray. Cry and you pray.
And with that, you all speak out your issues with Miss Show You Right, Nadine and Sabrina. We'll take a station break and we'll be right back. Again, thank you all for staying tuned each and every week to Miss Speak Out Your Issues with the Miss Show You Right, Nadine and Sabrina. And again, we've been having a great conversation this evening, a lot of tips, a lot of good information to give to our audience with our guest, Mr. Morris Roberts. And of course, Mr. Roberts, I know we've been on this topic tonight, how family and partners respond to family illness. We want to thank you for definitely coming on our show. And I know this is our topic tonight, but would you mind leaving information of other things that you do or like doing before, we go off the air?
Yeah, Show You Right, Nadine, Miss Nadine, and Sabrina. I'm also an entertainer and an actor as well. During my process of providing personal care for my friend, one of my things would be to go out, write songs or inspirational, or perhaps will come to me, and I put it down on my phone and I perfect it and I'll turn it into a song. So God has blessed me in tremendous ways with that. I happen to have a song called Fussify Woman. Make the word up, Fussified, and then woman. No such word in the dictionary, featuring Miss Nina Seville. But you can get it on Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, everywhere. And have a couple other songs out there too. Get in where you fit in. Tell me why you want to keep coming around me. And that's been one of the things that God has blessed me with, the ability to write or look at a situation to write a song. And then like now I'm working on one called Cell Phone in the Hip Pocket. But, I'm a writer and I'm a singer as well. So check me out, Marvelous Mo Morris, on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere.
Okay.
Get it where you fit in, party with you. And I got a Christmas song. Christmas just ain't Christmas about One You Love too.
Oh,
Remake.
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Is that on YouTube or?
I don't know. I gotta look for that. Somebody brought it to my attention because I really didn't like the song.
What?
I like we did it. No, but see, as a songwriter, you put out just like your mothers, y'all have children. I know you love each one of them, so I love each one of my songs, but it didn't grab me like I wanted it to. So, and I heard a few people say, "Oh man, I like that song." They compared it with some other people's song, but I didn't feel those vibes when I was doing that song. I wasn't feeling that. It was just to put a song out there. So we're working on something that for Christmas, probably next year we have something for you that I'm feeling.
Okay.
Fussified Woman is a good one, y'all. They talk about how women fuss at us. My mother fuss, perhaps your mother fuss, but it's all good fussing. So when you're in a relationship, don't get caught up in their fuss. That's their nature. Let them fuss. They fuss because they love you. And they fuss because they see something in you that need to be corrected.
Okay.
Y'all keep on fussing. But don't stop loving us now when you fuss. Don't stop loving us.
Well, yes.
Don't stop loving us. That's the thing about it. Is the storyline that telling that song. Who's supposed to love her right on time.
Right.
President Jimmy Carter and his wife have been married, I think 75 years, so many years. But anyway, it was on Good Morning America. And when he said he used one line for my son, he said, "Don't go to bed at night without making up for fussing." That's an irrevocable secret. Don't go to bed at night. But see, it was out there in the universe, I just grabbed it. He probably knew it before me, because he's older than me. But it was out there in the universe, because it makes sense. If you're fussing and arguing about something, you can go lay down in the bed, and then you need to make up before you do that.
Well,
that's scripture. That's scripture.
That's right.
Because the word says, "Don't let the sun go down on your wrath." Meaning,
that's right.
Scripture. Don't go to bed angry.
Right.
Basically, yeah,
Right.
you're right. It's scripture.
So true. So true.
Like what I was just thinking about, man, woman, this relationship on woman or whatever, man. Don't go to bed, sleep at night without making up a person, because the same person that you use those derogatory remarks, you're gonna want to use. Oh, can I have a kiss? No, you ain't getting no kiss, boy. You been bad.
Oh, whoa. Well, with that, we really appreciate you being on our show tonight, Mr. Morris Roberts. And no problem. You're always welcome to come back. Ms. Sabrina, you have any last words that you'd like to state?
Oh, you know mine. When you know your value, no one can ever diminish your worth.
That's to show you right. That's right. Okay. Well, okay then. And everyone, we appreciate you all being here on Speak Out Your Issues this evening. And hopefully you've gotten a lot of takeaway just to think on. And hopefully a lot of people will hear, this conversation that we've had tonight in reference to how family and partners respond to family illnesses. And with that, stay safe. Have a joyous holiday season. And we definitely, Mr. Roberts, need you to send us that Christmas song, because we'd like to try and play it. Yes, play it on your program that you interviewed tonight. And everyone, don't forget, we air every Sunday, 6 Eastern Standard Time via WLMR DB Radio. You can check it out on TuneIn. You can check it out on iHeart, Spotify. Speak out your issues. You all have a great evening and a great week.
Where the hell you been? You think I ain't see you over there talking to that woman next door? You think I'm blind or something?
I got a fussy woman. I got a woman. Oh, she fussing me. I got a fussy woman. I got a woman. Oh, she fussing me. Where she been fussing y'all? Whoa, that's around time. She fuss about the rent is overdue. She fuss about the car note, that's 2 up behind too. She fuss about no groceries, not in this house. Oh, she keep fussing, what she fussing about? I got a fussy fine woman. I got a fussy fine woman. Oh, she fussing me. I got a fussy fine woman. I got a fussy fine woman. Oh, she fussing me. When she been fussing y'all, whoa, that's a long time. I don't care if she fuss, as long as I hit that cat, I'ma let her keep on fussing. That's where it's at. I got a fussy fine woman. I got a fussy fine woman. Oh, she fussing me. I got a fussy fine woman. I got a fussy fine woman. Oh, she fussing me. Where she been fussing y'all? Whoa, that's a long time. Giving them in the morning, noon and night. When I come home, everything's alright. I got a fussy fine woman. I got a fussy fine woman. Oh, she fussing me. I got a fussy fine woman. I got a fussy fine woman. Oh, she fussing me. Where she been fussing y'all? Whoa, that kept me right on time. She fussing me when I come home late at night. She even fuss harder. My paycheck get right. She fuss at me about the girl next door. And I just keep on fussing. I'm gonna have to go. I got a fussy fine woman. I got a fussy fine woman. Oh, she fussing me. I got a fussy fine woman. I got a fussy fine woman. Oh, she fussing me. Where she been fussing y'all? Whoa, that love me right on time.
over there running your mouth. The mortgage haven't even been paid. You ain't paid the car note. You ain't bought no food. I'm tired of this mess. And then you want some love. And look at that bald head. I just might give you some.
She fuss about the way I wear my hair. She fuss about the neighbors that ain't even there. She fuss about the kids hanging out in the street. She fuss about the boys wearing britches to the knee. I got a fussified woman. I got a fussified woman. Oh, she fuss at me. I got a fussified woman. I got a fussified woman. Oh, she fuss at me. When she finished fussing, y'all, whoa, that love is right on time, right on time. Hey, you know, all of us know women that fuss. You know, my mother fuss, your mother probably fuss, but it was all good fussing. So when you grow up and get into a relationship, fella, don't get caught up in their fussing. Just let them fuss. But then bring in some flowers and do something nice and sweet. And bring out that femininity in them, boy. And get that good old makeup fussing love. You know, because when you finish fussing, you're going to make up. Don't go to bed at night without making up for fussing. So, let them fuss about the rent, the car note, the girl next door, all they want. But you know that you're dedicated and motivated to your fussified woman. Get in there and get all that. Bring it to me, baby. I'm gonna do it right. Cause I know your fussing gonna bring off some good love tonight. So keep on fussing, baby. If I'm a fussified woman out there, let the fella know what you really mean when you fuss. You wanna give it up, give it up, give it up.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station, WLMR DB Radio.